11 minutes past the hour right now, and tonight we have the story of a promising high school athlete conditioned to overcome obstacles, obviously, as they often are, but within the span of a year, life really dealt him not one but two devastating blows.
Yeah, and at a time when most might crumble, it took the support of two teams to help him pull through. Senior health correspondent Monica Robbins shares his inspiring story.
In Ohio high school wrestling, no greater opponent exists than the Eagles of St. Ed's. A powerhouse on the mat with 47 state titles.
Turning hard, turning hard, turning hard.
Success proudly on display, but its true measure extends beyond takedowns and pins.
If you love something enough, it doesn't matter. And I love wrestling, so I love it here.
Sometimes just being here is the greatest victory.
My dad always wanted me to wrestle when I was younger. I did it for like a year, and I hated it.
Just ask sophomore Hunter Stillwagon.
And then my 8th grade year, I did it, and I loved it. And so my dad was like, I told you so. I knew you were gonna be good at it.
Max Stillwagon recognized his son's talent. He wrestled too. Sadly, this father would not live to see Hunter's potential fulfilled.
He died from a pulmonary embolism contributed by AFib, and I don't think he was taking care of himself like he should have been at the time. That was probably the only time I have seen Hunter cry was when we were in the hospital those days with his dad.
A stoic teen starting high school in 2023, grief went too. But wrestling helped Hunter gain the upper hand.
It lets me take out my frustrations a lot, which is what I find really helpful about wrestling, and then I just love doing it.
Hunter excelled, capping off the year with a win at a state tournament for freshmen.
Being able to move around like that, and at his size, I see him pick up these people and throw them down. I mean, it's incredible. It really is.
We had really expected big things out of him this year.
The joy would be short-lived.
And then the summer, he had that heart issue, and it devastated him.
A free EKG offered to athletes revealed no abnormalities, but Hunter's family history prompted more testing as a precaution, and it revealed a staggering diagnosis: hypertrophic cardiomyopathy with obstruction.
This is something that is a relatively common cause of sudden cardiac death in athletes, and something that we need to take very seriously.
HOCM, HOCM for short, is a type of heart disease that thickens the heart muscle, blocking blood flow from the left ventricle to the aorta. Treatment exists, but currently there is no cure. The first doctor Hunter saw recommended he lose 100 pounds and told the teen he could never wrestle again.
I was pretty angry, just at everything for no reason.
He doesn't have any symptoms, so, to him, as a 15-year-old at the time, he's like, I feel fine. Like, what do you mean I'm not gonna wrestle again?
A second opinion brought Hunter's family to Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital. Dr. Jeffrey Bennett is director of cardiovascular genetics. He ordered more tests and assembled a team of experts. Hunter's St. Ed's family administered their own medicine.
Wrestling at the beginning was a coping mechanism for him. When that was taken away from him, I'm sure it kind of, made things worse, magnified it, and that's why I made sure I tried to keep him involved in things. We'd bring him to events, and he'd be filming for us or doing something to keep him part of the team, because he's a really good kid. You hate to see a kid go through an issue like this with his heart.
Weeks turned into months as doctors learned more. Tests revealed healthy heart muscle with no scarring. Medication, a revised diet also improved his overall health.
Ultimately, the goal for Hunter, and so the goal for our team, was how do we get him back to doing what he loves? And how do we get him back to doing what he loves safely?
Finally, after 8 months, Hunter got the news he needed to hear. He could wrestle again.
It was super amazing. I was very happy.
Come on, Hunter!
And then when I got to wrestle, I was even more happy.
I think seeing him on the mat wrestle for that first time when he got back to do a match, and I thought, okay, he just moves so naturally, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna be okay. Like, I felt a sense of relief, and I just felt okay with it.
Today, Hunter Stillwagon is looking forward to getting better at the sport he loves. Wrestling showed him how to fight. Life taught him what was worth fighting for.
Work hard and don't give up.
Now, to be clear, Hunter's return to sport in January was very gradual. A lot of safety precautions are in place with plenty of communication between Hunter's family, the school, and his doctors. He's on medication, lost weight, very closely monitored. Not every young athlete diagnosed with this condition can return to their chosen sport. Much of it depends on individual factors. NBA player Jared Butler has hokum. The Philadelphia 76er was diagnosed at age 18 and actually reached out to Hunter's family to offer support and information about playing at a high level with his condition. Hunter typically wants to avoid the spotlight, but hopes his story raises awareness for other young athletes with a family history of heart disease.
Wow.
Oh my
What a great inspiration, though. You know, I mean, he's not going to let it, you know, slow him down too much. He's going to just mind the conditions. And that's such a big rule and a story that all of us can really take away from it.
And you know, the fact that they're watching him, you know, Lord forbid, if there's ever another kid who might have a condition, at least we know the defibs are there. Everybody's paying attention, you know, so this is one of those situations where everybody's aware, everybody's paying attention because of not only Hunter, but Hunter is making everybody else aware to pay more attention to these cases.
And I bet somebody will be saved because of that. I just don't think that's
we can only hope so.
a coincidence.
Monica, thank you very much.
Thanks, Mon.
Great story.